It's not crucial. It's not absolutely critical to be a 10 out of 10. But furthermore, it's extremely difficult and obvious to become that 10 out of 10 individual. Now, what do I mean by that? I always tell individuals, I always tell young men, that you should aspire to be a 7 out of 10 across all aspects of life, across all the boards. Now, the reality is you're not going to be a 7 out of 10 in everything. What I recommend, what I encourage, is that you aspire to become a 7 out of 10 overall as an actual estimate. So you might be a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10 in certain aspects of your life, and you might be a 4 or a 5 out of 10 in certain aspects of life, and that obviously will average out to a 7 out of 10 human, 7 out of 10 individual. Now the reason why that I say this is it's very hard to become a 10 out of 10 in certain fields. You know, you take, for example, intelligence. Not everyone can be 10 out of 10 intelligence. 10 out of 10 intelligence on a specific metric could be Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born with a specific talent. Elon Musk was born with this intelligence that unfortunately the vast majority of the populace are simply never going to have. Now, it doesn't mean they can't educate themselves. It doesn't mean they can't read books and, you know, study courses and become more knowledgeable and be well traveled and cultured. Absolutely. But no matter what they do, being a 10 out of 10 like Elon Musk in terms of specifically down to intelligence is very, very difficult. So this is not something that I encourage because it's not exactly realistic to that extent. You have other examples like Anthony Joshua's physique, Tyson Fury's physique. Well, let me take that back in terms of his endurance and fitness. But Anthony Joshua's physique, or someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger's physique back in the day in his prime, 10 out of 10. Again, it's not something that I expect you to aspire to. And the reason why I don't encourage you guys to set that type of goal is because it's not necessary. What are you trying to achieve here? What is your end goal? What is your ambition here? Because most of us don't want to be bodybuilders. Most of us don't want to have the same level of IQ and intelligence, intellect as Elon Musk and Bill Gates. That's not your ambition. In order to attract a high caliber woman in your life, or in order to become the best version of yourself, a lot of you guys don't want to even be 10 out of 10 intelligence. A lot of you guys don't even need a 10 out of 10 physique. A lot of you guys don't need to be a multi-billionaire or have a £30 million condo, £25 million mansion. A lot of you guys don't want it and don't need it. You don't need that in order to become the best version of yourself. But 7 out of 10 across all boards is very achievable. It's not that hard to get a 7 out of 10 physique, especially in the UK when over 60% of people in general are obese. Not fat, but obese. It's not very hard to get a 7 out of 10 physique. You don't need to be absolutely shredded, absolutely ripped to be a 7 out of 10. These are realistic goals that anyone can aim for. You can set that goal and achieve that easily in 3 years, no matter what your starting position is. You could be obese, you could be fat, you could be skinny, you could be underweight. Achieving a 7 out of 10 physique is not very hard, and that will be an eye catcher. That will be captivating enough to a lot of women, especially the woman that you're trying to attract, and that's not exactly difficult. Hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a week in combination with a relatively clean diet will enable you to get a 7 out of 10 in due course in terms of the physique, even the finances. The best thing that you guys can do in order to achieve this 7 out of 10 overall package is look at what 5 out of 10 is, because 5 out of 10 is average. It's the median. It's what the average population are. It's what men are. It's 5 out of 10. Now look at 10 out of 10. What is the creme de la creme? What is the absolute peak, the pinnacle of society in terms of multi-billions, in terms of Anthony Joshua's physique, as an example? And aim for 7 out of 10 and work your way downwards. So, for example, a 10 out of 10 property could be a 40, 50 million pound penthouse. But realistically, that's not what you want. Likelihood is that's not your goal, and that probably shouldn't be your goal. It's certainly not my goal. 40, 50 million pound mansion, but that is 10 out of 10. A 5 out of 10 might be in the UK a £400,000, £500,000 property, for example. Of course, it's going to be a mortgage attached, but that is a 5 out of 10. A 7 out of 10, again, this is something that you can judge in your personal life. A 7 out of 10 is somewhere between a £1 million to £3 million property, for example, right? So you analyse that for property, you do that for physique, you do that for finances. Becoming a 7 out of 10 individual in terms of overall package. Yes, it's going to take time because a lot of you guys are not 7 out of 10. But it's not that difficult because, again, you may not be born with Leonardo DiCaprio 10 out of 10 looks, but you can certainly fix your hairstyle, you can invest in a nice cologne, you can dress better, you can tailor your suits when you actually hit the gym and achieve that 7 out of 10 physique. You can now put on nice suits, you can dress better. Now all of a sudden you smell good, you shape up your beard, you shave your beard, you change your haircut, you stand still, you stand up tall, you're confident. All of a sudden you become a very attractive, captivating individual, and that's a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And that's not down to genetics. You might not achieve 10 out of 10 because your genetics are perhaps limited in that field in terms of physique, in terms of your facial looks. But 7 out of 10 is achievable for any man that aspires to become handsome. Handsome men decide to become handsome. Yes, it may be a very simple and simplistic concept, but that is just a reality. If you want to be handsome, you will be handsome. You'll take care of your skin, you'll drink water, you'll cut alcohol, you'll quit smoking. You will do everything within your power, within your reach to become a handsome individual. Achieving this 7 out of 10 package is something that I recommend and encourage to every single young man out there, because it's very achievable and it will enable you to attain the goals that you need in terms of fulfilling your potential, in terms of maintaining your happiness, in terms of becoming captivating and attracting the high caliber of women that you want to attract in your life. You have the tools and resources, especially if you've been growing up in a Western world, or in a world where you have the resources available if you put the dedication and you have the perseverance. Achieving a 7 out of 10 physique isn't very hard. We've already established this. Achieving a 7 out of 10 in terms of finances is not very hard at all. The average salary, and I'll take the UK because it's where I live, the average salary in the UK is under £30,000 a year. We're talking roughly between £24,000 to £28,000 per year in the entirety of the UK, right? And that is for all age categories, all age groups. If you earn 6 figures or more in the UK, I'm talking pounds sterling, £100,000 or more, you are automatically in the top 3%, of the population. And most men hit their financial stride when they're in their 40s and 50s. Bear that in mind. The top 5% of earners earn more than £80,000 a year. Now, dollars, of course, is different, euros is different. To be in the top 1% of earners in the country, in the UK specifically, it's over £180,000 per annum. Okay. Now, a 7 out of 10 is not going to be £30,000 a year. A 7 out of 10 isn't even going to be £100,000 a year. But if you aim for the £70,000, £80,000 a mark, we're talking 90 to 100,000 American dollars per year, roughly. I'm doing rough mathematics there. Then you are a 7 out of 10 strictly down when it comes to finances. I'm not saying you're going to achieve that overnight. I'm not saying you're earning that today. And as I've stressed, as I alluded to, most men hit their financial stride in their 40s and 50s. But if you dedicate 3 to 5 years to increase your income, increase your skill set, constantly read, become cultured, network, make those connections, get those promotions, achieving £70,000 a year, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's not that difficult to achieve. I promise you guys, it's not that difficult to achieve. So when you look across the board in terms of finances, in terms of 7 out of 10 physique, in terms of knowledge, in terms of reading books and not indulging in the bad habits, yes, it's not an overnight fix, but longevity. If you set that plan in place and go, I want to be a 7 out of 10 man this time in 3 years, and you put all your effort and dedication and your laser beam focused, there is no doubt in my mind that you will become a 7 out of 10. And that is the beauty of being a young man, is that you can be a 3 out of 10 and you can become a 7 out of 10. You could be a 1 out of 10 and you could be a 7 out of 10. You have that potential in you. You have that opportunity to fulfill your potential. And that is something that I encourage all young men, is that 7 out of 10 total package, but you have the capability to do so. Smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.